Welcome back. This is the part 4, the conclusion of the presentation on cryptozoology and Bigfoot that was presented in the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah, September 2013. In part 1 of the presentation, we met Mr. Bigfoot and looked at several faces that have been found in videos that are going into the Bigfoot face database. And we also looked at the importance of the database and being able to track the various aspects of the Bigfoot's life, their migration, their longevity, their birth rates, and so forth. In part 2 of the presentation, we took a look at Bigfoot feet, and we learned that shapes, various sizes, depending upon their age and gender and so forth. But the feet themselves have different shaped toes and, of course, the mid-tarsal break, which allows them to flex their foot for more traction. Also in part 2, we looked at the Bigfoot hands, and we learned that the ones in Arizona, the Mogollon monster, long, slender fingers, and they have armored knuckles on the center joint. However, there is insufficient information as to tell how much differences there are in the hands due to regional places. Therefore, we don't have a whole lot of data on how much variance there are in the hands. In part 3 of the presentation, we discussed urine and scat. However, that might be exciting, but it really doesn't make for a good medium to have DNA testing because of bacteria contamination. In the final part 3, we discussed hair. If it's a high probability Bigfoot hair and how to be able to do this by not running down to the local laboratory and paying for DNA testing. Okay, that's enough for the review. Let's get on some new material and let's discuss Bigfoot habitat. What we have found is Bigfoot does use cave. This particular cave is a Bigfoot habitat, and I know this because I saw Bigfoot come out of the opening there. His shoulders was about even with the rocks, which makes him a little over 7 foot, almost 8 foot tall. Use cave. This second cave we found had a built-up wall in the front. Could be due to ancient Indians or something else moved those rocks in place. It had a grass mat in it made of grass and leaves and 2 burrows which made real good sleeping area. Now the particular thing we found in this cave of black walnut shells, which tells me they store the food, and we think that they sit in these caves during the long winter months to keep warm and eat the nut shells while they watch outside to see if anything passes by that they might be able to get for food. Okay, we just made another discovery of some sort, and we're headed over here to take a look at it. Holy cow, look at that. Look at this. Now, if this don't make Monster Quest, what will? Okay, everybody stand around it so we can get a size perspective.
You need to film this, Dan.
I'm going to film it all. So I want to get a size perspective so everybody kind of stand shoulder to shoulder over there. Okay, this is some kind of a nest that we just found. It's a big one. Okay, alright, you can scatter now. We're going to go down and take a look inside. It's got a door to it too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they pull that in when they go in. Yeah, and pull this up, hide the entrance. Come in there, pull that up. Well, that's why you don't find them sleeping. They cover themselves.
Yeah.
They're buried.
That's like a adobe.
What we have learned have found is that the Bigfoot move out of the caves during the spring, summer, and fall outdoors, and they build structures, nests out of pine needles and limbs and so forth. And they also keep their young in these. Therefore, find a nest, it may not be big, huge nest that houses a complete adult, but is more in line of keeping the youngsters safe and warm while the others are out hunting and gathering food. So just how smart is the Bigfoot? Well, we found several pine needle dolls right next to the nest. There's one in my hand there, and you can see several more on the ground. These are made, I believe, to keep the young entertained, much like our children play with dolls. Now for one of the mysteries of the Bigfoot. Yeah, that's a perfect mummy type shape, you know. With that mat, that's what gives it away. Got feet covering for the feet, some more needles. We believe the Bigfoot bury their dead. They dig the hole, they line it with pine needles in the bottom, either out of reverence to the dead, or they're trying to mask the scent of decomposition by piling the needles in the bottom and then piling needles on top the body and then reburying the body so that the animals won't dig them up. So overall, we find that Bigfoot does not seem to be an aggressive animal. Given the chance, they'll run or they'll hide. However, they are wild or possibly a wild human, but they will protect themselves. They will protect their young. They are not Harry of Harry and the Hendersons, and they should be treated with respect. Well, this concludes our presentation. I want to thank you all for watching my presentation, and special thanks for Dana Harper for introducing me and his connections to Ben Hansen from Fact or Fake, and a special thanks to Ben Hansen for setting me up for attending the conference and being able to present my panel and setting me up with a booth to sell some of my products.